I'm Elise Harper, a 32-year-old graphic designer, standing in the azalea gardens of Willow Creek Estate, my heart pounding like a drum in my chest. The mountain mist clings to the air, heavy and cold, as fairy lights flicker like fireflies in the dusk. My brother Lucas's wedding is tomorrow, and he's glowing with love for his fiancée, Clara. But my husband, Nathan, grips my hand, his face pale under the dim glow of a lantern. Elise, Clara's hiding something. He whispers, his voice low, urgent. I can feel it. She's not who she says she is. My stomach twists. The laughter around us fades, and I wonder, what have I missed about the woman my brother loves? Hope you enjoyed this story. Leave a like and share your thoughts in the comments. We'd love to hear where you're watching from. Now, let's continue with the story. The Blue Ridge Mountains loom over Asheville, North Carolina, their peaks shrouded in a haze that feels like it's hiding secrets. Nathan and I pulled up to the Willow Creek Estate this afternoon, Thursday, 3 days before Lucas's big day. The venue is straight out of a dream. Sprawling gardens bursting with pink and white azaleas, a cedarwood manor glowing with warm light, and the faint strum of a banjo from a local band rehearsing for the welcome dinner. Asheville's artsy charm wraps around us. Farm-to-table restaurants, craft breweries, and the River Arts District's murals are just a short drive away. But as I step onto the gravel path, a chill runs through me like the mountains are watching. Lucas, my younger brother by 2 years, has always been my rock. At 30, he's a tech startup manager with the energy of a kid chasing fireflies. He's been head over heels for Clara Bennett since they met 10 months ago at a charity gala at the Biltmore Estate. Their romance was a whirlwind. Engaged after 5 months, now here we are, celebrating their love in this mountain paradise. Clara, a Stanford MBA grad with a dazzling smile, seems perfect. Too perfect, maybe? I shake off the thought as we unload our bags from the rental car. My parents, Margaret and Henry Harper, are already here, chatting animatedly on the manor's front steps. Mom, a retired librarian with silver-streaked hair, looks radiant in a flowy sundress, her laugh carrying over the breeze. Dad, a sustainable energy investor who's built a $300 million empire, gestures wildly, his excitement contagious. Elise! Nathan! Lucas shouts, bounding down the steps like he's 10 again. He pulls me into a bear hug, lifting me off my feet, then gives Nathan, a newly minted attending physician at Asheville General, a firm handshake that turns into a half hug. Where's the lucky bride? I ask, brushing my dark hair out of my face as Lucas sets me down. Getting her hair done with the bridesmaids, he says, his grin wide. You'll meet Clara at the welcome dinner tonight. She's incredible, Elise. You're gonna love her. I've only met Clara twice, once at a rushed Christmas dinner and again at their engagement party 3 months ago. She was charming, polished, but our chats were brief. I smile at Lucas's enthusiasm, but Nathan's quiet beside me, his hazel eyes scanning the estate like he's diagnosing a patient. He's always been observant, a skill honed from years in the ER, spotting lies in patients chasing painkillers. This place is stunning, he says, but his tone's guarded, like he's holding something back. The welcome dinner is held in the estate's courtyard, where fairy lights twinkle like stars against the darkening sky. Long tables are set with mason jars of wildflowers and plates of Asheville's finest, cornbread, smoked trout, and peach cobbler. I spot Clara the moment we walk in. She's a vision in a white sundress, her blonde hair cascading in perfect waves. Elise, she calls, rushing over with a hug that feels a little too practiced. I'm so thrilled you're here. Lucas says you two were inseparable growing up. I want all the embarrassing stories. Her enthusiasm is warm, but there's a flicker in her blue eyes like she's performing. I chalk it up to nerves. Planning a wedding in Asheville's high season can't be easy. This is Nathan, I say, introducing my husband. Clara turns her charm on him, her smile dazzling. The handsome doctor! Lucas told me you just made attending physician. That's incredible. Nathan nods, surprised she knows. Thanks, and congrats on your MBA from Stanford. Lucas says you're fielding job offers left and right. Oh, it's nothing, Clara says with a dismissive wave. My dad's got connections, so I've been lucky. She gestures to a distinguished man with silver hair, Robert, her father, talking to my dad across the courtyard. I notice Clara slip a phone with a green case into her purse. But when she pulls it out later to take a selfie, it's in a black case. Odd, but plenty of people have two phones, right? Work and personal. As we sit for dinner, Clara works the room like a pro, remembering everyone's names cousins, uncles, even the caterer's assistant. She's especially attentive to Dad, asking about his sustainable energy firm with a curiosity that feels too sharp. Henry, how do you navigate those regulatory hurdles in Asia? She asks, leaning in. Dad's eyes light up. He loves talking shop. I catch Nathan watching her, his jaw tight. She's quite the charmer, he whispers as Clara laughs at one of Dad's stories. She makes Lucas happy, I reply, sipping my sweet tea. That's what counts. But then I notice Clara's accent shift, just a hint, when she talks to Dad. It's more polished, almost West Coast, compared to the soft Southern lilt she used with Mom. My designer's eye, trained to spot inconsistencies in patterns, flags it. Nathan leans closer. Reminds me of a patient last year, he murmurs. Faked seizures for meds, same polished vibe, same calculated charm. I roll my eyes, but my stomach twists. Across the table, Clara's uncle, Victor, a wiry man with a too smooth smile, watches Dad with an intensity that feels wrong. Mom's chatting with Clara's Aunt Ellen, who seems distracted, glancing at her phone, a red case not matching Clara's. The mountain air feels heavier now, the banjo's twang sharper. I tell myself it's just the long drive, but Nathan's words echo. She's hiding something. As we head to our room, a gorgeous suite with a balcony overlooking the misty peaks, I can't shake the unease. Lucas is head over heels, Dad's smitten, and Mom's already planning holiday visits with Clara. But Nathan's instincts are rarely wrong, and my own gut's whispering that something's off. Tomorrow's the rehearsal, and I'm already dreading what we might notice next. The morning sun filters through the mist, casting a golden glow over the Willow Creek estate, but my unease from last night lingers like the damp air clinging to my skin. I'm Elise Harper, a 32-year-old graphic designer, and I'm here in Asheville, North Carolina, for my brother Lucas's wedding to Clara Bennett. After Nathan's whispered warning at the welcome dinner that Clara's hiding something, I can't shake the feeling that this perfect mountain weekend is about to unravel. The rehearsal day stretches ahead, packed with fittings and dinners, and I'm already bracing for what I might notice next. Lucas is oblivious, his laughter echoing as he helps set up chairs in the garden. But Nathan's hazel eyes are sharp, scanning every move Clara makes. We start with a breakfast buffet in the estate's dining hall, where the scent of fresh biscuits and locally roasted coffee fills the air. Asheville's farm-to-table vibe is everywhere. Platters of smoked bacon, blueberry scones, and pitchers of sweet tea line the rustic wooden tables. Clara's already there, radiant in a cream blouse, her blonde hair pulled into a loose bun. She's chatting with my mom, Margaret, about a folk music festival in town, her southern lilt soft and warm. You must visit the River Arts District tomorrow, she says, touching Mom's arm. The murals are stunning. Mom beams, clearly smitten, but I notice Clara slip a phone with a red case into her pocket, the third case I've seen her use. Yesterday, it was green and black. My designer's eye, trained to catch details, flags it again. Why 3 phones? Nathan leans close, his voice low. She's working the room like a politician. Watch how she pivots. I follow his gaze. Clara's now with my dad, Henry, her accent shifting to a crisper, almost West Coast cadence as she asks about his sustainable energy firm. Henry, how do you balance risk in those Asian markets? She says, her blue eyes locked on him. Dad, always eager to talk business, launches into an explanation, oblivious to the intensity in her stare. Her uncle, Victor, a wiry man with slicked back hair, hovers nearby, nodding along. There's something predatory in his smile, like a fox circling a henhouse. I nudge Nathan. You're reading too much into this, aren't you? He shakes his head, barely audible. I've seen this before, Elise. Last year, a patient faked a heart condition for drugs. Same calculated charm, same knack for knowing too much. She's studying your dad. His words hit like a cold breeze. I want to argue, but Clara's phone switch and Victor's watchful eyes gnaw at me. Lucas bounds over, his energy infectious. Ready for the rehearsal, sis? Clara's got it all planned out. I force a smile, my heart heavy for him. The rehearsal takes place in the estate's garden, where a rose and ivy arch frames the Blue Ridge Mountains. Maya, the wedding planner, a petite woman with a clipboard and a nervous smile, directs us through our positions. Clara's a vision of efficiency, guiding the bridal party with a breezy confidence that feels almost militaristic. Elise, you'll walk in after Sophie, she says, her tone sweet but firm. Sophie, Clara's cousin and maid of honor, is a quiet artist with dark curls and a fidgety demeanor. She keeps her eyes down, sketching in a small notebook during breaks. I try to chat with her, hoping to learn more about Clara. So, you and Clara grew up together? I ask, keeping it casual. Sophie hesitates, her pencil pausing. Yeah, sort of. We were close as kids. Her voice wavers and she glances at Clara, who's directing Lucas with a hand on his arm. She's come a long way since UCLA, right? I test remembering Clara's claim of a Stanford MBA. Sophie's brow furrows. UCLA? No, I thought, maybe I'm mixed up. She laughs nervously, flipping her sketchbook shut. My pulse quickens. Why the confusion? Before I can press, Clara calls Sophie over, her smile tight. Sophie, honey, help Maya with the seating chart. I slip into the Manners library to grab a water, needing a moment to process. The room smells of old books and cedar, with sunlight streaming through stained glass windows. As I reach for a bottle, I hear Clara's voice from the hallway, low and sharp. No slip-ups, we're too close now. She hisses into her phone. The red case again. Everything's set for Sunday, handle it? Her tone is nothing like the melodic charm she uses with us. Footsteps approach, and I duck behind a shelf, my heart racing. Clara steps into the library, her expression hard, but when she spots me, her face softens instantly. Elise, just sorting out a flower emergency. You know how it goes. She laughs, brushing past me, but I catch a glimpse of her phone screen. A banking app, not a florist's contact. Back at the rehearsal, Nathan's watching Clara like a hawk. Did you hear that call? I whisper, recounting what I overheard. He nods, his jaw tight. She's playing a role, Elise. And that uncle of hers? He asked your dad about his Green Horizon strategy? Stuff he shouldn't know. Dad's proprietary investment model is his pride and joy, guarded like a family heirloom. How does Victor know about it? I try to focus on the rehearsal, but Clara's warmth now feels like a mask, and Sophie's unease sticks with me. The rehearsal dinner is held at a local farm-to-table restaurant in the River Arts District, its walls adorned with vibrant murals. Clara gives a speech that brings tears to Mom's eyes. Clara, you're incredible, she says, her voice breaking at just the right moments. You and Lucas are my home now. Lucas beams, squeezing her hand. But I can't shake the feeling that her words are rehearsed, like lines from a script. Nathan leans in, his voice a murmur. Lucas says they met at the Biltmore Gala, but one of her friends mentioned a coffee shop spill. Which is it? I frown, the inconsistency nagging at me. Clara excuses herself to take a call, stepping outside with the black case phone. When she returns, her smile is brighter, but her eyes dart to Victor, who nods subtly. My gut twists. She's hiding something, and I need to know what. Hope you enjoyed this story. Leave a like and share your thoughts in the comments. We'd love to hear where you're watching from. Now let's continue with the story. The next morning, the Blue Ridge Mountains are cloaked in a silvery mist, making the Willow Creek estate feel like a painting come to life. But the unease from yesterday, Clara's phone call, Sophie's slip about UCLA, Victor's probing questions, has me on edge. I'm sipping coffee on our balcony, the air crisp with the scent of pine, when Nathan joins me, his face serious. I'm digging into Clara's past, he says, his voice low. My friend Alex from college works private security. He's running a background check. Something's off, Elise? My heart sinks. Lucas is so in love, and the idea of shattering his happiness feels like betrayal. But the pieces aren't adding up, and I can't ignore Nathan's instincts. We head to a vineyard tour with the wedding guests, the rolling hills dotted with muscadine vines glowing under the morning sun. Asheville's charm is everywhere. Handcrafted wine glasses, local folk tunes playing softly in the tasting room. Clara's in her element, laughing with guests, but I notice her steering Dad toward Robert, her supposed father, a silver-haired man with a calculating gaze. They're deep in conversation about Asian market investments, and Robert mentions Dad's Green Horizon strategy again. His knowledge too precise. I nudge Nathan. How does he know so much about Dad's business? Nathan's eyes narrow. Exactly. Alex is finding stuff already. Nothing good. At a break in the tour, I wander into Asheville's River Arts District, where Sophie's sketching at a craft market stall. Her drawings are haunting. Portraits of Clara with shadowed eyes, almost fearful. These are amazing, I say, trying to connect. Did Clara inspire them? Sophie's hand trembles. She's intense, she says softly, avoiding my gaze. We haven't been close in years. Her words don't match Clara's story of a tight-knit childhood. I press gently. You mentioned UCLA yesterday. Clara said Stanford. Sophie's face pales. Did I? I get mixed up. We drifted apart. She hurries away when Clara approaches, linking arms with Sophie, her smile sharp. What are you two gossiping about? She asks, her tone light but edged. Back at the vineyard, Clara's Aunt Ellen is on another call, her voice low. The accounts are almost ready, she says, glancing around before spotting me. She hangs up quickly, offering a strained smile. Just checking on the caterers? But her phone has a green case, not the red one from yesterday. My mind races. 3 phones, shifting stories, and now Ellen's secrecy. Nathan pulls me aside during a tasting, his expression grim. Alex found a driver's license under a different name. Clara's not who she says she is. My stomach knots. Lucas is setting up chairs for tomorrow's ceremony, laughing with his groomsmen, oblivious to the storm brewing. I want to protect him, but the truth is closing in, and I'm terrified of what we'll find next. The sun rises over the Blue Ridge Mountains, painting the Willow Creek estate in hues of gold and pink, but my heart's pounding with a dread I can't shake. I'm Elise Harper, a 32-year-old graphic designer, and today is my brother Lucas's wedding to Clara Bennett. Nathan's warning from the welcome dinner that Clara's hiding something has grown louder with every inconsistency. Her 3 phone cases, Sophie's slip about UCLA, Victor's 2 precise questions about Dad's business. As I stand in the bridal suite, surrounded by the scent of hairspray and roses, I watch Clara glide toward the mirror, radiant in her gown. Her eyes meet mine, and for a split second, I see a flicker of calculation, cold and sharp. Nathan's hand tightens on mine, his gaze locked on her. Does he see it too? The estate's garden is a vision, with a rose and ivy arch framing the misty peaks. A local folk band strums banjos, their melodies weaving through the crisp Asheville air. Lucas looks dashing in his charcoal tux, his grin wide but nervous as he adjusts his cufflinks. I'm a bridesmaid, not the maid of honor. That's Sophie, Clara's cousin, who's fidgeting with her bouquet, her dark curls pinned tightly. Mom, Margaret, dabs her eyes, her silver-streaked hair glowing in the sunlight. Dad, Henry, stands tall, his pride evident as he chats with Clara's father, Robert, whose silver hair and sharp eyes seem to miss nothing. The guest list feels off. Clara's side is sparse, just Sophie, Robert, and an aunt and uncle, Ellen and Victor, with a handful of friends. Where are her Stanford classmates or childhood buddies? The ceremony begins, and Clara walks down the aisle in a designer gown, her blonde hair cascading under a veil. The crowd gasps. She's stunning, like she stepped out of a magazine. Lucas's face is pure awe, his eyes brimming with love. Clara's vows are perfect, her voice breaking as she says, Lucas, you and your family are my forever home. I choke up, but that flicker in her eyes haunts me. During Dad's speech, welcoming her to the family, she glances at Robert, a subtle nod passing between them. My stomach twists. Is it just nerves? Or something more? At the reception, held in the estate's barn with exposed beams and fairy lights, Asheville's craft beer flows and platters of BBQ ribs and cornbread circulate. Clara floats from table to table, charming everyone. She's especially attentive to my parents, refilling Mom's wine and asking Dad about his Green Horizon portfolio, a proprietary investment strategy he rarely discusses. Henry, how do you manage volatility in those green energy funds? She asks, her tone curious but probing. Dad, flattered, dives into details, oblivious to Robert hovering nearby, listening intently. Victor joins them, his slick smile unnerving as he chimes in about Asian market opportunities. I nudge Nathan, who's been quiet, snapping photos with his phone. Not just candids, but deliberate shots of Clara with Robert, Victor, and Ellen. What are you doing? I whisper, adjusting my lavender bridesmaid dress. Tracking patterns, he murmurs, his hazel eyes narrowing. Her family moves like a team. Watch how they position themselves. I follow his gaze. Victor's always near Dad, Ellen's shadowing Mom, and Clara's steering conversations. Sophie, meanwhile, sits alone, sketching in her notebook, her face pale. I try to talk to her, hoping for answers. You must be thrilled for Clara, I say, sitting beside her. Any fun childhood stories? Sophie's pencil freezes. We didn't see each other much growing up, she says, her voice barely audible. She was always busy. Her eyes dart to Clara, who's laughing with a guest. That's not what Clara said about their tight-knit past. I press gently. She mentioned Stanford. Were you there too? Sophie shakes her head, confused. No, I thought it was UCLA. She clams up as Clara approaches, her smile sharp. Elise, don't monopolize my cousin. Clara teases, but her grip on Sophie's arm looks tight. Nathan pulls me aside during a slow dance, the band's banjo twanging softly. Alex texted, he's digging up more on Clara. Her story's unraveling. My heart races. Lucas is spinning Clara on the dance floor, his joy radiant, and I feel guilty for doubting her. But the phones, Sophie's confusion and Victor's probing keep piling up. As the night winds down, Clara's focus on Dad intensifies. She mentions his green horizon again, her knowledge too specific. I catch Nathan snapping a photo of her whispering to Robert, their heads close. The mountains loom darker now, the mist thicker, and I know tomorrow's brunch will bring answers, or more questions. Hope you enjoyed this story. Leave a like and share your thoughts in the comments. We'd love to hear where you're watching from. Now, let's continue with the story. The post-wedding brunch is set in the estate's garden, where the morning mist clings to the azaleas, and the scent of fresh coffee mixes with the smoky tang of bacon. I'm Elise Harper, still reeling from yesterday's wedding, where Clara's calculated glances and Sophie's unease left me rattled. Lucas and Clara, now husband and wife, sit at the center table, accepting congratulations with tired but happy smiles. Mom and Dad are glowing, sipping mimosas, their pride in Lucas palpable. But Nathan's been on edge all morning, his phone buzzing constantly as he steps away for calls. I'm trying to enjoy the blueberry pancakes, a nod to Asheville's local flavors, but my gut's screaming that something's wrong. Clara's in a white sundress, her hair in a casual ponytail, playing the perfect new wife. She's chatting with a groomsman, laughing at his joke, but her eyes keep flicking to Dad, who's deep in conversation with Robert about joint ventures. Victor's nearby, his slick smile fixed as he refills Mom's mimosa. Sophie sits quietly, sketching, her fingers trembling. I try to focus on the chatter, but Nathan's absence worries me. He's been vague about his calls, mentioning hospital stuff, but he's never this distracted on vacation. When he returns, his face is grim, his hazel eyes stormy. He grabs my arm, pulling me behind a trellis. We need to leave now, Elise, he whispers, his voice urgent. Clara's a fraud. She's not who she says she is. My world tilts. What are you talking about? I hiss, my heart pounding. Lucas is laughing with Clara, his hand on hers, oblivious to the bomb Nathan's dropping. Alex sent me everything, Nathan says, his voice low but intense. Her name's not Clara Bennett, it's Vanessa Reed. She's a con artist with multiple aliases, Laura Mitchell, Emily Stone. She marries wealthy men, gets into their finances, then disappears with millions. He pulls out his phone, showing me a driver's license with Clara's face, but darker hair, under the name Vanessa Reed. My stomach drops. There's a news article about a Boston hedge fund manager, scammed out of $2 million by a woman named Erica Donovan, Clara's face again. Another from Seattle, under Catherine Miller. She's not after Lucas, Nathan says. It's your dad. His firm's worth $300 million. Lucas was just her way in. I stare at the screen, my hands shaking. The phones, green, black, red. Sophie's confusion about UCLA. Victor's and Robert's focus on Dad's business. It's all clicking into place, but I can't believe it. How do you know this? I ask, my voice barely a whisper. Alex has been digging since the dinner, Nathan says. Her patterns match. Fake identities, fake families, targeted marks. She's got a team, Robert, Victor, Ellen. They're not her real family, they're accomplices. He shows me an FBI bulletin warning about a woman matching Clara's description, wanted for fraud across 3 states. My knees weaken. Lucas is toasting with Clara, his smile so genuine it breaks my heart. We can't just leave, I say, glancing at my parents. It's brunch. The wedding was yesterday. What do we do? We need to protect your dad's accounts, Nathan says. She's probably already got access. We need privacy to plan. His urgency is contagious, but I am torn. Lucas will be devastated. I think of Clara's probing questions about Dad's green horizon, her too perfect charm. Sophie's sketches flash in my mind, those shadowed eyes like she's scared of Clara. I nod, my throat tight. Okay, but we need a plan. Nathan fakes a smile, approaching the table. Everyone, I'm so sorry, he says, his voice smooth. I just got called for an emergency surgery back at Asheville General. We have to head out. Mom looks disappointed, her glass pausing mid-sip. Oh, Nathan, can't someone else handle it? It's a complex case I've been managing, he lies, his doctor's calm convincing. We'll be back as soon as we can. Clara's expression is perfect, concerned, supportive, but I catch a flicker in her eyes like she's calculating. We'll miss you, she says, hugging me. Her embrace feels cold, and as she pulls away, I see that same calculated glint from the ceremony. Lucas looks confused but nods. Drive safe, sis. We grab our bags and head to our rental car, my mind racing. As we pull away from the estate, the mountains loom like silent witnesses. What now? I ask, my voice shaking. We get to a hotel, call in help, and figure out how deep this goes, Nathan says, his hands tight on the wheel. We need to save your dad and Lucas before she makes her move. The mist thickens as we drive, and I know the truth about Clara is about to change everything. The mist hangs heavy over Asheville, cloaking the Blue Ridge Mountains in a ghostly veil as Nathan and I pull into a boutique hotel near Biltmore Village. I'm Elise Harper, a 32-year-old graphic designer, and my world is unraveling. Just hours ago, at the post-wedding brunch at Willow Creek Estate, Nathan dropped a bomb. Clara Bennett, my brother Lucas's new wife, is Vanessa Reed, a con artist with a string of fake identities. Her target isn't Lucas, but our dad Henry, whose $300 million sustainable energy firm is her prize. Now, in a dimly lit hotel room, Nathan shows me Vanessa's rap sheet on his phone, driver's licenses, marriage certificates, FBI warnings. My hands shake as I scroll through a photo of her as Erica Donovan, her blonde hair dyed dark, smirking in a Boston mugshot. Lucas married a lie, and I'm terrified of what it'll do to him. Nathan's hazel eyes are steady but urgent. Alex's intel is solid, he says, referring to his private security friend. Vanessa's done this before, marries rich men, infiltrates their finances, then vanishes with millions. Robert, Victor, Ellen. They're not her family, they're her crew. I think of Sophie's nervous sketches, Ellen's cryptic call about accounts, and Clara's, Vanessa's 3 phone cases. It all fits. But my heart aches for Lucas, who's still at the estate, blissfully unaware. We need to check your dad's accounts, Nathan says, pacing. She's likely already got access. I nod, my throat tight, and pull out my phone to call Lily, my cybersecurity friend who owes Dad for her first job. The hotel room smells of lavender and cedar, but the cozy vibe does nothing to calm me. Lily picks up on the second ring, her voice sharp. Elise, what's wrong? I explain in a rush. Clara's fake identity, Nathan's evidence, the risk to Dad's firm. Can you check if his accounts have been compromised? I ask, my voice trembling. Give me his credentials and permission, Lily says. This isn't exactly legal, but I'll do it for Henry. I call Dad, spinning a story about Nathan needing investment advice for a colleague. Dad, ever trusting, provides the access codes without hesitation. While we wait, Nathan shows me more, an FBI bulletin linking Vanessa to frauds in Boston, Seattle, and Miami. She's been at this for years, he says. Her team poses as family to build trust. Robert's been spotted in 2 other scams playing the father. Lily calls back an hour later, her tone grim. Someone installed a keylogger on Henry's laptop 3 days ago from the estate's Wi-Fi. It's captured everything. Passwords, account numbers, emails with his bank. My blood runs cold. Can you tell who did it? I ask. It's from a device on site, she says. I've disabled the keylogger and changed his critical passwords, but they've got enough to move fast. I relay this to Nathan, who curses under his breath. She's planning to strike soon, he says. Post-wedding chaos is the perfect cover. I think of Lucas, toasting with Vanessa at the brunch, his eyes full of love. We have to tell him, I say, my voice breaking. But he won't believe us. He's head over heels. Nathan nods, his jaw tight. We need him to see the evidence. If we don't act now, she'll disappear with millions. I text Lucas, my fingers trembling. Meet us at the hotel, urgent, about Clara. He replies instantly, What's going on? You're scaring me. I don't answer, knowing he needs to see this in person. Nathan gathers the evidence on his laptop, photos, articles, the FBI bulletin. My mind races back to Sophie's pale face, Victor's predatory smile, Ellen's hushed call. They're all in on it, and Lucas is the pawn. As we wait, the hotel's folk music from the lobby feels mocking, its cheerful twang clashing with the storm in my chest. Lucas is coming, but what will he do when he learns the woman he loves doesn't exist? Hope you enjoyed this story. Leave a like and share your thoughts in the comments. We'd love to hear where you're watching from. Now, let's continue with the story. The oak-paneled suite at Willow Creek Estate smells of polished wood and roses, but the air is thick with tension. I'm Elise Harper, standing with Nathan, my parents, Margaret and Henry, and my brother Lucas, whose face is a mask of pain. We've just confronted his new wife Clara, or Vanessa Reed, a con artist who married him to target Dad's $300 million firm. Nathan's laptop is open on the desk, displaying her rap sheet, fake identities, marriage certificates to wealthy men, an FBI bulletin linking her to multi-million-dollar frauds. Lucas stares at the screen, his hands clenched, as Vanessa stands by the window, her blonde hair catching the dim light. "Who are you, Clara?" he asks, his voice cracking. Her mask slips, revealing a cold stranger who's played us all. Lucas steps forward, his eyes searching her face. "We know everything," he says, quieter now. "Vanessa Reed, Erica Donovan, Catherine Miller. Pick a name." He gestures to the laptop, where Nathan's compiled the evidence. A Boston marriage certificate to a hedge fund manager, a Seattle News article about a stolen fortune, a driver's license with Vanessa's face. I want to hug him, but he's rigid, his gaze locked on her. Vanessa laughs, a forced sound. "This is ridiculous. There's been a mix-up. Some woman who looks like me, maybe?" Nathan's voice is calm but cutting. "No mix-up. We have police reports, financial records, and a keylogger you installed on Henry's laptop during the wedding." He pulls up Lily's report, showing the intrusion from the estate's Wi-Fi. "You've been after his accounts from the start?" Dad's face hardens, his usual warmth gone. "You knew about my Green Horizon strategy. Details no one outside my firm knows?" "How?" Vanessa's eyes narrow, assessing the room. I catch her glancing at the door, and my pulse spikes. "Don't even think about it," I say, stepping closer. "Security's been alerted." It's a bluff, but she doesn't know that. Mom, her hand at her throat, gasps as Vanessa's posture shifts, her smile fading. "Kyle, surely you don't believe this," she says, her voice soft, pleading. But Lucas shakes his head, his voice breaking. "Explain the marriage certificate. Explain why you married a man in Boston 4 years ago as Erica Donovan." For a moment, Vanessa holds her ground, her face a mask of outraged innocence. Then, seeing our unwavering certainty, something changes. Her shoulders straighten, her expression hardens, and it's like watching a curtain fall. "Well," she says, her voice clipped with a faint accent I can't place. "This is unexpected. I underestimated you, Doctor Carter." She nods at Nathan, a smirk playing on her lips. Mom gasps, her hand flying to her mouth. Lucas stumbles back as if her transformation is a physical blow. "Why?" he whispers. "Was any of it real?" Vanessa tilts her head, studying him like a specimen. "You were sweet, Lucas. I didn't dislike our time together, if that's what you mean, but business is business." Her coldness cuts like a knife. I want to scream, but Dad steps forward, his voice hard. "What business? Defrauding families? Destroying lives?" She shrugs, her smirk widening. "I call it wealth redistribution. Men like you, Henry, have more than you could ever need. I just spread it around." Her casual tone makes my stomach churn. You provide a service, right? I snap, my voice shaking with anger. Love, affirmation, excitement, with a price tag. She meets my gaze, unflinching. Exactly. People want to believe in me. I give them what they want. Where are your accomplices? Nathan asks, his voice steady. Robert, Victor, Ellen, your family? Vanessa's smirk falters. Gone by now. Standard procedure after the main event. She says, main event like the wedding was a heist, and Lucas flinches, his face pale. I think of Sophie, her nervous sketches, her hesitation. Was she coerced or part of the scam? Dad pulls out his phone, his voice calm but lethal. While you've been talking, my security team froze my accounts and notified the FBI's Financial Crimes Division. They're very interested in you, Vanessa. Her eyes flash with fear, the first crack in her composure. You're bluffing, she says, but her voice wavers. Dad holds up his phone, showing an email from the FBI confirming receipt of his report. You have two choices, he says. Stay and face them or run with nothing. Your team's abandoned you. It's over. Vanessa's gaze darts around the room, her cool facade crumbling. She looks at Lucas, a final play. I could have made you happy, she says, her voice softening. We could have had a life. Lucas shakes his head, his eyes wet. You never existed. The pain in his voice breaks me, but I stand firm, my hand on Nathan's arm. Sirens wail in the distance, growing closer, and Vanessa's shoulders slump. She's trapped, and she knows it. As we wait for the FBI, I brace for the fallout. Lucas's heartbreak, Dad's betrayal, and the truth about how close we came to losing everything. The Blue Ridge Mountains stand silent under a blanket of stars, their peaks a jagged silhouette against the Asheville sky. I'm Elise Harper, a 32-year-old graphic designer, sitting at a weathered wooden table in my parents' backyard, the scent of honeysuckle and smoked brisket lingering in the warm July air. It's been a year since my brother Lucas's wedding at Willow Creek Estate, a day that promised forever, but unraveled into betrayal. Clara Bennett, Vanessa Reed, or Alexandra Petrovich, as the FBI now calls her, was arrested that night, her con exposed. Lucas's laugh, ringing out as he teases Dad about overcooking the ribs, is the first real spark I've seen in him since. We've survived a master manipulator, and tonight, under these stars, we're stronger, wiser, and whole again. The fallout from that day was a storm. After Vanessa's arrest, the FBI swarmed the estate, their questions relentless. Alexandra Petrovich, born in Belgrade, Serbia, had been running scams since her teens, graduating to elaborate marriage frauds targeting wealthy families. Her family, Robert, Victor, and Ellen, were professional con artists hired to play their parts. Robert, the supposed father, was a known figure in two other scams, always slipping through the cracks. The FBI was still hunting him, but Victor and Ellen were in custody, their fake identities crumbling under scrutiny. Sophie, Clara's cousin, wasn't an accomplice but a victim, coerced into the role by Vanessa's threats. She'd been terrified, her sketches a silent cry for help. Lucas's marriage was annulled within weeks. The legal process, a quiet mercy compared to the emotional wreckage. He moved to Chicago, unable to face the San Francisco apartment he'd shared with Vanessa. The first few months were brutal. Lucas barely spoke, his eyes hollow, as if love itself had betrayed him. Mom, Margaret, threw herself into saving him, cooking his favorite Asheville-inspired dishes, cornbread, collard greens, peach cobbler, and arranging therapy sessions. Dad, Henry, grappled with guilt for trusting Vanessa's father, his business instincts shaken. He poured his energy into bolstering his firm's security, adding layers of encryption and audits to protect his $300 million empire. I spent those early weeks in Chicago too, Nathan and I calling Lucas daily, sometimes just sitting in silence when words failed him. Nathan's instincts had saved us, his ER-honed ability to spot lies, his quick call to his security friend Alex. I'd always trusted him, but this ordeal deepened our bond like steel forged in fire. We'd drive to Mom and Dad's for Sunday dinners, the Chicago skyline a stark contrast to Asheville's misty peaks. But the warmth of family was the same. Lucas started therapy, and slowly, the brother I knew, the one who'd chased fireflies with me as kids, began to resurface. Sophie reached out 3 months after the wedding, her voice trembling over the phone. She'd been Vanessa's pawn, manipulated with threats against her struggling art career. "I tried to warn you," she said, describing a sketch she'd left in the bridal suite, a portrait of Clara with shadowed, predatory eyes. Lucas met her for coffee in Chicago, not for romance, but for closure. Her story helped him see Vanessa's skill, how she'd studied us like prey, exploiting our trust. It wasn't his fault. He'd loved a mirage. Tonight's dinner is a quiet milestone, not a celebration but an acknowledgement of how far we've come. Mom set the table with mason jars of wildflowers, a nod to Asheville's rustic charm. Dad's grilling, his apron stained with BBQ sauce, a rare smile softening his face. Lucas, now settled in a tech job downtown, tells a story about a quirky coworker, his laugh genuine. I catch Nathan's eye across the table, his hand squeezing mine under the linen cloth. The mountains feel like home again, their presence steady, grounding. "Remember last year?" Lucas says, his voice light but tinged with weight. We all pause, the memory of Vanessa's betrayal hovering. "I thought I'd never laugh again." Mom reaches for his hand, her silver-streaked hair glinting in the lantern light. "You're stronger than you know," she says. Dad nods, his voice gruff. "We all are, and smarter now." He's implemented new security protocols, even mentoring Lily, my cybersecurity friend, who's now consulting for his firm. Her quick work disabling Vanessa's keylogger saved millions, and Dad's gratitude runs deep. I think back to the evidence we uncovered, a storage unit under one of Vanessa's aliases, filled with files on our family. She tracked our habits, our vulnerabilities, building a fake life with fake social media accounts going back years. The FBI found records of 5 other scams, each following her pattern: infiltrate, manipulate, disappear. Prosecutors are confident she'll face years in prison, though Robert remains at large, a shadow we can't quite shake. But tonight, that shadow feels distant, eclipsed by the warmth around this table. Lucas raises his glass, the clink of ice in his sweet tea catching the light. "To trust," he says, his voice steady, "the kind you earn, not give away." Mom adds, "and to love that strengthens, not divides." Her words hit me hard. Vanessa's love was a weapon, isolating Lucas, targeting Dad. But real love, like what binds us here, builds bridges. Nathan squeezes my hand again, and I know our marriage is stronger for it, tested by this fire and unyielding. 6 months ago, Lucas went on his first date since the annulment, a casual coffee with a coworker. It didn't spark romance, but it was a step, a sign he's healing. He's started hiking again. The Chicago trail's no match for Asheville's peaks, but they're enough to clear his head. Mom's planning a family trip back to the River Arts District, where we'll wander the murals and maybe catch a folk band. Dad's even talking about a new green energy project, his confidence returning, tempered with a healthy skepticism. As we clear the plates, the stars brighten, and a banjo tune drifts from a neighbor's porch, a reminder of Asheville's soul. I think of Vanessa's final words in that oak-paneled suite. "I could have made you happy, but happiness built on lies is a house of cards, and Lucas deserves more." We all do. I look at my family, Lucas joking with Dad, Mom refilling Nathan's tea, and feel a quiet certainty. We were targeted because we're close, trusting, but that same closeness saved us. Our bonds held firm, and Lucas, though scarred, is looking forward again. For you watching, trust your gut when something feels off. That uneasy twinge, that flicker of doubt, it's your heart warning you to look deeper. Cherish the connections that endure, the ones that don't hide behind perfect masks. If Vanessa taught us anything, it's that real love withstands scrutiny, growing stronger with time. Lucas will find someone worthy of his heart, and we'll be there every step of the way. Hope you enjoyed this story. Leave a like and share your thoughts in the comments. What's a lesson you've learned about trust? We'd love to hear where you're watching from. Subscribe and share for more heartfelt stories.